Now at 10, a Fox 61 exclusive. Imagine having to heat water on your stove just to take a shower. Well, that's a reality people at a West Haven apartment complex say they've been living with for the past month. Thanks for joining us on the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Priscilla Meza. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot spoke exclusively with the people impacted and city officials who say this situation has turned into a public health hazard.
People that live at the Rolling Ridge Apartments in West Haven say they have been without hot water for a month. One tenant says this isn't fair and having to shower shouldn't require so many steps.
I got to haul hot water from my kitchen to my bathroom in order to do my daily cleansing.
Connell Campbell has lived at the Rolling Ridge Apartments since 2001. He says he hasn't had hot water in a month.
I've been getting a lot of lip service, a lot of excuses, a lot of things that they say they're gonna repair, but no results.
But it doesn't stop there for Campbell. He says for the past 3 years, whenever it rains, his bathroom leaks because the roof needs to be fixed. He showed Fox 61 exclusively what maintenance has done to catch the water when it rains and what his walls look like as a result of the water.
Every time it rains, it gets worse and worse, Kay.
He says he has to move things out of the bathroom and onto his granddaughter's table so it can dry.
I'm going to try to struggle through this. Hopefully sooner than later, it'll get better.
His daughter also worries for him.
When it rains and the water comes down, it's over his light fixture in the bathroom.
Absolutely.
And that's a hazard. A fire can start that way.
The city is aware of the problems and says it doesn't have an answer on when things will be resolved. Lloyd Adams, West Haven's building official, says he's been in touch with the maintenance employee.
They have the funding to replace the boilers, and that work is in progress. And they have the funding to replace the roofs. And that's in progress, and I asked her to please do the boilers first.
Adams says he was last in contact with the maintenance employee last week.
I said, please remember you need permits for the work, number one, and number two, when do you think this is going to occur? And I haven't heard back from her on that. These boilers are huge boilers. You're not going to go to Wynn Nelson and buy them off the shelf. They will have to be ordered. They're special order stuff.
Campbell says they have been without hot water for a month. West Haven's Health Department Director Sheila Carmen says the city has received multiple complaints since February regarding lack of hot water.
Some of the tenants have actually been threatened with eviction as a result of making complaints to the health department.
Carmen says back in February, the health department tried making contact with Millennia Housing Management, which owns the apartments.
We issued a formal notice of violation on February 26th regarding requiring immediate repairs. And we did not receive a response. I personally reached out to the corporate office 2 weeks ago, and I have yet to receive a response from them. And so we did turn this case over to the state's prosecutor.
In a statement from Millennia Housing Management, it says, quote, "Our team is actively working to address these issues and coordinate the necessary repairs. In the meantime, temporary measures have been implemented where appropriate to help minimize the impact on residents while long-term solutions are being pursued." Carmen says those temporary measures are not acceptable.
In fact, they were offered a communal shower in another unit, which is totally unacceptable. It's unacceptable and contrary to basic standards of tenant safety.
Other city health department officials say this has been an ongoing issue, and that's why they have taken matters into their own hands. Hillary Lawrence says she has gone to the complex many times and tested the water.
We like to use rule of thumb. Is it 110? Are we getting enough hot water? And we are not getting that. So that's what led us to issuing orders, and then led us to issuing the arrest warrant.
In the same statement from Millennia Housing, they said, quote, "The health, safety, and well-being of our residents remain our top priority, and we will continue to keep residents informed as additional updates become available." In studio, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Breaking news tonight in Naugatuck. Police say part of Route 63 is closed because of a serious crash. The closure is between Sherman Street and Bradbury Street. They say the crash involved one car and the driver has life-threatening injuries. We'll keep you updated as we learn more about what happened and when the road reopens.
She did not date him for long. They did not have a long-term relationship. It was a new person in her life. And it is just a complete tragedy that this happened. You know, it would be in any capacity, but I mean, she really didn't know him for long.
A Burlington man is now facing a murder charge after investigators say a woman's death inside his home was no accident. Police say what was first reported as a fall down the stairs is now being called a homicide. Today we spoke with one of the victim's close friend.
I was just completely taken back. I just had, it just felt, ever since then, it's really felt like a complete nightmare. It just doesn't feel real, and it's definitely not something anyone saw coming.
From disbelief to heartbreak, friends say they're coping with the loss of 26-year-old Janina Brooke Murphy. State police say Murphy was found dead inside a Burlington home back in March after a call came in reporting she may have fallen down the stairs. But according to an arrest warrant, when officers arrived, they found Murphy lying unresponsive on the living room floor with visible injuries to her face, arms, and legs. Police say her boyfriend, Cole Warhen, was the only other person inside the home. Investigators say Warhen told them Murphy had been drinking and became upset and claimed she threw herself down the stairs. But detectives noted inconsistencies in his story, along with blood found throughout the home. Police also observed injuries to Warhen's hand and what appeared to be blood on his body. A medical examiner ruled Murphy's death a homicide caused by blunt force trauma to the head. Warhen was arrested Tuesday and is now charged with murder.
She was full of life, you know, and that was taken from her. She was everyone's best friend. She was so sweet. She was so talented.
Murphy's friend, Lindsay Bolduck, says the two had worked together and stayed close. She described Murphy as someone who was always in touch with the people she loved.
It really wasn't normal to not hear from her a lot. I know she did talk to some of her other friends too. Brooke had a lot of best friends, you know, but it just wasn't normal for her to be kind of disconnected from people. I really had a bad feeling in my gut, as did a lot of other people.
She says Murphy had only recently started dating Warhen just weeks before her death. Now, as more details emerge, including past accusations involving other women, friends are calling for accountability and awareness.
I feel like someone like Cole just shouldn't have been able to have access to these women.
Friends are also urging dating platforms to take stronger action when it comes to user safety. But above all, they want people to remember who Murphy truly was.
I just want people to remember that Brooke wasn't just a victim, you know. She was a best friend, she was a daughter, she was a cousin, she was incredible, and she was full of life.
Warhen is being held on a $5 million bond. State police say the investigation is ongoing, and police say Warhen is also facing other charges connected to alleged assaults involving multiple women.
All right, even though it was warm out there this afternoon, temperatures are cooling off quickly out there, and it's an open up the windows kind of night with overnight lows in the 50s, so it'll be downright refreshing on your way out the door tomorrow morning. We've got one more nice day, and then rain returns. There is a chance for an isolated shower later in the day in northwestern Connecticut. I should say towards sunset in northwestern Connecticut, but most of the rain will be after dark. And you can see there's nothing on the radar here close to home, and there are some weak showers that are starting to approach. Low temperatures tonight, again, 50s inland, near 60 for the Connecticut shoreline, and tomorrow looks like a really stunning day. Low humidity, we will see increasing clouds through the afternoon, and high temperatures will be in the low 80s. And then as we head into tomorrow night, notice, especially after midnight, there will be a rising chance for some rain. There could be a few heavier downpours or even a rumble of thunder, even in the pre-dawn hours of Friday morning. But Friday's not a washout, and the weekend isn't either. We'll explain. Your full forecast is coming up. Priscilla.
Thank you, Rachel. Hartford police are investigating a shooting that happened this afternoon. Officers responded to Brook Street around 4:15 after reports of gunfire and a shot spotter alert. Now, police found evidence of a shooting at the scene. A short time later, an 18-year-old man arrived at a hospital with a gunshot wound. Police say he was alert and conscious. Anyone with information is asked to contact Hartford Police. New Britain police are investigating an attempted robbery that left a man shot early this morning. Officers say it happened around 5:15 a.m. on Alexander Road. Investigators believe 2 men approached the victim as he was leaving for work. During a brief struggle, the victim was shot in the arm. He was taken to the hospital for treatment. The suspects fled the area in a gray sedan. Anyone with information is asked to contact New Britain Police. A car crashed into a barber shop on a slow but busy street. Now the store has a long road of repairs ahead. Fox 61's Tim Lateau is in Windsor Locks with the details from police and concerns from drivers.
The barbershop owners say they're closed until extensive repairs can be made. The speed limit here is only 25 miles per hour, but the car had enough force to completely destroy the storefront.
We have 3 kids, and she cuts all their hair. She cuts my hair. She cut my hair and my best friend Alex's hair for years.
Skip's Early Bird Barbershop in Windsor Locks is one of the most popular in town, but the Early Bird won't be catching any kind of worm anytime soon there.
This is like the second crash that's happened on that street, so like it's basically over here where the first crash was.
The storefront on Main Street is now boarded up after it looked like this Tuesday evening. A Jeep crashed into it and took out all the doors and windows. Daniel Schweenard can't believe something like this could happen on a 25-mile-per-hour road.
Completely shocked because you have, in my opinion, you have to be going much faster to take that out.
Windsor Locks police say a 50-year-old woman was driving the Jeep northbound when she drove off the roadway. She told officers she lost control. Based on the angle of the street, her car had to turn nearly 90 degrees perpendicular to crash into the shop. Police say the woman passed field sobriety tests and was charged with failing to drive in the proper lane.
Down here, through where the tracks are and everything, with all the construction, there's been a lot of things that have been going on, and people getting accidents, you know, just on the norm.
There were no injuries, and the barbershop was empty at the time. It'll stay that way until the owners say they can get repairs made. Just back in March, a man was killed on the same street in Windsor Locks in a rollover crash. Solana Savelli doesn't think speed limits are effective unless police have a strong presence enforcing them.
Everybody drives too fast. You know, the speed limit doesn't need to be 25, maybe not. Could it go to 30? Maybe, but it's, you know, you just gotta pay attention.
Dustin Merrill is a car mechanic in town. He says even small crashes that don't seem to have a lot of damage can cost owners more money because of newer electronic systems in cars.
Just being careful, being mindful, it can save you quite a bit of money.
Windsor Locks police say the investigation into the crash is still ongoing. In Windsor Locks, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.